now at 6. It may not be a white Christmas, but it's certainly going to be a cold one. Coming up, how the state is enacting policies to make sure that everyone is taken care of ahead of this cold weather.
What was supposed to be a celebratory meeting quickly turned tragic. A future first selectman and current volunteer firefighter killed while crossing the street. I'm Matt Karen reporting in Portland. We'll talk to those who knew Sean Manning best.
Also, concerns mount in Ledyard over a plan to dig up acres of land. We'll tell you why people who live in the area say they're so concerned.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. Good morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 61 and on Fox 61 Plus. I'm Tim Lammers.
And I'm Symphony Privet. We hope you're having a fantastic start to your Friday so far. Let's check in with meteorologist Matt Scott. Matt, the cool down has begun.
Yep, bring it on.
It's chilly.
And do you think today's chilly?
Yeah. Just wait.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Bachman Turner overdrive, Sam? Yeah, thank you. Just double checking with our weather and music historian, Sam Perry, everybody. Yeah, it's cold out there, but the coldest stuff has yet to arrive. Few snow showers on the way tonight. That's not going to be a big deal. That may be good for a coating, and then it's that bitter cold that may very well lead us to a potential white Christmas. We're going to talk about that too coming up. This afternoon into tonight, into tomorrow morning, a couple of snow showers. Maybe good for a coating, a few slippery spots. If you're getting a jump start on getting to grandma's house later on today, and boy, some of you already have, be careful later on tonight. We got some clouds in place. That's keeping temperatures fairly mild on this morning. 31 in Hartford, 36 in New Haven, 33 in Groton. Here's your snow forecast. Again, not much. Scattered coating later on. Higher elevations, if you're lucky, you may get an inch of snow. So it's obviously not a big deal at all. Temperatures not moving much. They are colder. They are still not at their low points. We're saving that for the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up. I hope there aren't a lot of low points on the traffic report. Symphony's got an update on that. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. So far, everything's moving along just fine. As we take a quick look at our drive times here in Hartford, no delays to report on 91 from Windsor heading down to the 84 interchange. That's a quick commute of 3 minutes. And the commute along 84 East from New Britain after the Hartford Tunnel, moving along smoothly so far on this Friday. That stretch of traveling should take you about 5 minutes.
Well, if you're looking forward to a white Christmas, maybe you just have to settle for a frozen Christmas.
Yeah, the state activated the cold weather protocol for the next few days. Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is live in Hartford this morning with the details. Good morning, Lindsay.
Hi, good morning. Well, this is the first time this season that the state's cold weather protocol has been activated. It goes into effect tomorrow, and that will run until Tuesday. And the goal is to protect the most vulnerable in our communities from those cold temps. Now, as Matt Scott was saying, and as you've probably heard by now, it is going to get cold over the next few days, with the lows even expected to dip into the teens and even single digits. Now, Governor Ned Lamont says being outdoors for longer periods of time could be deadly. The state's cold weather protocol allows state agencies to work together to make sure anyone in need of a shelter or transportation to a shelter or warming center is taken care of. During an extreme weather protocol like this, these workers with the United Way and state agencies work around the clock to make sure anyone who calls is able to get the help they need. If you call 211, workers can help find a shelter near you or a warming center near you. They can even arrange free transportation. During cold weather, it's also important to check in on your neighbors, especially those who are older. And state officials are also reminding people to be mindful of their pets, not to leave pets outside for long periods of time. Now, again, you can call 211 for a list of shelters near you or warming centers, and people will be able to answer those phones around the clock from Saturday until noon until Tuesday until noon, and that's when the state's cold weather protocol is being activated. Live in Hartford this morning, Lindsay Kane, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Lindsay. And remember, folks, you can always download the free Fox 61 News app to get any weather impact alert sent right to your mobile device. You can also monitor the forecast hour by hour and scan the list of any closings, cancellations, or delays as they come into our newsroom. Right now at 6, the town of Ledyard must decide whether to approve a 40-acre excavation project in Gails, Ferry.
Yeah, people who live there have mixed feelings about that plan. Attorneys that represent both sides spoke at a special meeting last night. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot was there and shares their messages.
It's a project that has divided the town of Ledyard. During tonight's meeting, lawyers delivered their closing arguments on this excavation project. One pointed out unethical behavior by some planning and zoning commissioner members, while the other talked about potential impacts to people living in Ledyard, including loud noises, harmful and environmental risk, and exposure to radon. A controversial project has been the talk of the town in Ledyard, a 40-acre excavation operation in Gails, Ferry.
This is the third or the fourth of the series of public hearings, and I am happy to hear both attorneys giving their closing arguments for this.
At the final hearing for this project Thursday, lawyers representing the Gails Ferry Fire District and the applicant, Jay Cashman of Gails Ferry Intermoto, spoke before the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Rock crushing equipment could theoretically be allowed in Ledyard, but only if, 1, no vibration is transmitted beyond the boundaries, or 2, necessarily involved in the construction or demolition of the building.
I should point out, because we've had discussion about sound, that the 122 decibels is at the chipper.
Cashman's proposed dredging project would be off of Route 12 on the land formerly occupied by Dow Chemical. People in town say this project would have a negative impact on the area.
We're afraid that we're going to be, exposed to these harmful chemicals, these harmful particulate matter that's going to be cast into the air with these explosions.
We only have a 2-lane Route 12, so big trucks that are going to be coming out right now, we have issues with that, where the traffic will back up. The barges they're proposing to come down the river, it's very narrow there.
Thursday's meeting got rocky. Like many others in the past, the applicant's lawyer accused Eric Treaster, one of the commissioners of the Planning and Zoning Board, of being unethical, while Jay Cashman was accused of calling the project a quarry, which is not allowed in town.
Jay Cashman is the principal, the manager of the applicant, Gails Ferry Intermodal. He stated on the record during this public hearing that this is a quarry, or he at least referenced, referring to it as a quarry.
There wasn't a vote at Thursday's meeting. Another meeting will be scheduled to continue this process. People in Gails Ferry say they won't stop fighting against this project because ultimately they'll be the ones affected. A spokesperson for Cashman says he is doing all that he can to take into account the concerns of the folks that live here. In Ledyard, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
People who live in Portland are grieving the loss of Fire Lieutenant and Selectman Sean Manning. He was killed while he crossed Main Street to attend what was supposed to be a celebratory meeting. Fox 61's Matt Karen talked to those who knew him best.
The black bunting, the flag at half-staff. Another Connecticut town grieves a first responder. And on Wednesday evening, the town was about to convene for their bi-weekly Board of Selectmen meeting on Main Street. Just outside, a pedestrian hit by a truck. What they didn't know, it was a friend. Sean Manning was a member of the Portland Board of Selectmen. He was killed trying to cross the street to get to that meeting, a meeting where he was about to be announced as the town's new interim first selectman beginning in January. Current first selectman Ryan Curley, who is stepping down, got to know Sean through political campaigns. Sean ran under the flag of his own party called Back to Basics. Sean wasn't just an elected leader. He was a business owner and general contractor. He was a husband, a father, a grandfather, and a lifetime volunteer Portland firefighter.
The unfortunate thing about being a volunteer in your own town is that when tragedy strikes, it hits close to home.
He was a public servant in every sense of the word.
Sean Manning was 58 years old. Police are still investigating what led to the crash, but the first selectman said right now it appears to be a tragic accident. The driver is cooperating with the investigation. As for the leadership of Portland in the new year, that will be decided in the coming days. Reporting in Portland, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
6:09 now. The man accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel was brought back to New York City. Luigi Mangione faces a long list of charges, which now includes 4 federal charges, including murder with a firearm. Now, this is separate from his state-level charges, which include murder as an act of terrorism. The federal charges could bring the death penalty, although it's not clear if federal prosecutors will push for it. Mangione is currently held without bail. He was arrested last week at a McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania.
Police in Madison, Wisconsin said a 15-year-old school shooter there was relatively new to the school she attacked. They said the girl was in her first semester at Abundant Life Christian School. Police said that girl shot and killed a student and teacher. 6 more people were hurt, including 2 more students with serious gunshot wounds. The funeral for 14-year-old Ruby Patricia Vergara will be held Saturday, and a service for 42-year-old Aaron West will take place Monday. West had worked at that school for 4 years.